Show. I am your favorite Mindminx, and we are live on location here at Mo and J Pastry, located in Little Falls, New Jersey, with Mix Vibes Radio. And I am with the owner, one of the owners, Jaleesa. And we just lost Mohamad because they are actually open today.
Yeah,
literally, as we're about to go live, some customers came through. So he'll be back, and this is what happens when we're on live television,
right?
Live podcast. But I just want to give a couple shout outs before we really get into it. We want to give a shout out to the official sponsor of the Mindminx show, which is Absalon, located at 223 DeGraw Avenue in Teaneck, New Jersey, as well as Castro Beats for the amazing beat that you guys get to hear playing in the background of our show today. So let's get into it. All right, so
nice.
While Mohamad is out taking care of business, let's talk about you.
Okay.
All right, so I had done some homework, and I was like reading up on you because I remember I got to meet you a couple of years ago when you guys first opened up.
Right.
And literally 2020, your doors had just opened. It was in the middle of, quarantine.
Craziness.
Which, God bless you. Like,
craziness.
How does someone decide? Literally, how does someone decide in the middle of that craziness to open up a business?
It was our last whim, if you will. It's like, I think for something like that, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, to open up a business sounds ridiculous. But it was one of those things where if we don't do this, we'll lose it all. Because we were hemorrhaging, everyone was going through a lot of loss, people were getting laid off, like things are really crazy. And so we kept thinking, like, if we don't do anything, we're gonna lose all the hard work we've been building up to. So we have to at least try. And we literally put our last bit of money into getting the storefront, and it was fingers crossed because we were just like hoping. And the thing is, it's hard because everything was very uncertain, and people didn't want to come out because everyone was scared still with the whole mask mandate, and it was just all these issues. People didn't want to wear masks, and they were fighting, and it's just like, it was really tough. But it was one of those things where you have to just jump, and it's scary because you don't know, and it's the unknown. But if you don't try, you're never gonna know what happens. So that's what we did. We just opened a bakery in the middle of the pandemic in November. So
I remember seeing. Well, so they opened their doors in Little Falls, New Jersey, and I'm gonna get to how you ended up choosing. But let's talk about your background. So you are. I already tell this story. So when I'm looking up your information, right? So her maiden name is it's spelled Mason. And she has a French bakery. So I'm over here, and your first name even sounds, very like, So I'm pronouncing your name, Jaleesa Mason. Lisa Mason. I was like, hold on.
Nah.
I'm like, you're from Spanish Harlem.
Yeah.
I listened to another interview you were on with another podcaster, and I was like, she doesn't sound French.
Definitely not. Regular, very American.
I think the very first question I asked you today, I was like, you pronounce your last name Mason, don't you?
Good old Mason.
So you're a New York girl.
Yes, definitely. Born and raised in my blood, heart, and soul, New York. It's weird because, like, when you're born and raised in New York, all you do is talk smack about New Jersey. It's not like when I came here, it was like, Dad. Like,
wait, you see my husband nodding his head in the background. That's where he lives right now.
I became the traitor, man. Like, so that was a hard pill to swallow. But even to this day, I don't say I'm from New Jersey because I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I live here, but I would never say, oh, yeah, I'm from New Jersey. It just sounds weird coming out of my mouth. So, like, yeah, I ended up in New Jersey.
But you didn't originally have aspirations to be a pastry chef.
No.
Plastic surgeon.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did it go from plastic surgery to
food? I know.
How did that happen?
I was applying to high schools, and I knew I wanted to go into medicine. I just like watching those like medical TV shows. So I was like, oh, I want to be a plastic surgeon. I want to make people feel better about themselves, and just like whatever. So I went to medical-based high school, and it's not until your junior year where you do an internship in hospital to get like a real feel of the industry. And that was when I learned, like up until that point, I was good on paper. I was good with the exams. I understood the knowledge, the material. It was great. When I got to the hospital and I had the hands-on experience, I was like, I'm not cut out for this. It's very, very different. You're learning it in a book versus doing it in real life. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't. And I knew within the first month or two, I was like, I can't do this.
So that was
so I was like, all right. So then I'm freaking out because now it's, the end of junior year. You're in senior year now. We got to apply for colleges. All this anxiety. What am I going to do? My whole plan deviated. So everyone kept telling me the whole cliche of do what you love and you don't have to work a day in your life. And so I thought like, okay, well, I like pastries, I like baking, but I thought there was no career in that. I thought about, food is all about who you know. I thought your connections. And I'm like, I'm this regular chick from Harlem. Like my family's not in this industry. How am I going to get my foot in the door? I don't know anybody. Like it's going to be really hard. And I was like, I don't want to go through that. So I just didn't think it was a career choice for me. But I just kept thinking at the end of the day, like, but it's what you really like to do and just bet on yourself. So then I decided to go to culinary school and no regrets. It was the greatest decision because now I'm here.
But that road,
that was tough.
So you went to ICE.
Oh, CIA.
CIA, right, sorry. My cousin went to ICE. Damn it. Which, by the way, these schools have the coolest fucking names.
Yeah.
She went to CIA, Culinary Institute of America. What does ICE stand for?
Institute of Culinary Education, I think.
They have the coolest fucking names, by the way. Where you got to travel, though.
Yes, I did a lot of traveling. I was very fortunate. Even before culinary school in my high school, we had like a travel culture club. And I was able to travel throughout high school. And then my senior year in culinary school, I got to travel abroad and went to France for the second time. And I got to learn more about the pastry scene there and quintessential just French techniques for pastries. And yeah, that was great. But that was the last time I traveled. Like, that was the last time I actually traveled. It was a very long time. It's been, I graduated 2014. Jesus, man. 2014 I graduated, yeah. So I haven't had a vacation in a while.
Well, it's been, okay, so then just so we understand that. So that's an interesting point. So you graduated high school in 2014?
No, college.
College,
2014.
Okay.
2011 was high school.
All right. I was going to feel really old for a second. All right, so because in 2016 you guys opened.
So 2016 we just filed the business.
Oh, okay.
We weren't. Yeah, we just like made it legitimate.
Wait, we would like. This is Mohamad. This is Mo and Jay. Who just. So 2016 you guys filed.
We just filed it.
And you were at that point just wholesaling.
Yeah, we were
cafes.
We were just trying to focus on. We actually our first bit, like I should say business, but our first idea actually was not eclairs. We were only selling madeleines, so it was all we were doing. But then we saw as the years went by that there was a market for eclairs, so we switched to eclairs. But in 2016, we just made a legitimate filed business. We weren't really pushing on it yet. We still had jobs and things going on, so we weren't really doing anything about it yet. But yeah, 2016 it started. It wasn't really until the pandemic, I think, that we pushed on Mo and Jay to like become what it is now. So it was just like grind time, go. Like,
all right, so let's talk about Mo and Jay now. All right, so we got a little bit of history on Jaleesa. So you went to culinary school and you started, and I'm gonna mess up this name because I can't speak. I would love to speak French. I think it's a beautiful language. So where did you start working? That Maison
Kaiser. Yep, okay, that's where we met.
That's where you guys met, and you were the executive sous chef, correct? And you were.
I was a pastry cook, basically.
Okay, all right. And what I loved about this story was that you guys got to meet and work together,
right?
But you had gotten to the point where you were ready to move on,
right? And
most employers would never be like, no, you need to be here. This is where you, and your employer, boss, or whomever, however it is in that industry, said, go.
Yeah, so what happened was I was making a cake for my brother. It was his baby shower. Him and his girlfriend were pregnant, and I was making the cake, and I asked my chef if I can stay after hours to work on the cake because it was a 3D sculpted cake, and he was like, sure. So I needed help airbrushing or doing something, and he was helping me, and I realized that this is what I really wanted to do. I like doing the custom cakes, and so months go by, and I had this feeling of like, you shouldn't be here. Like, this is not what you really want to do. It's very evident you need to leave. So I'm thinking like, okay, I have to quit. But I've never had to quit a job before. So I was like, okay, anxiety. So I was like, how do I quit? It took me weeks to like talk to him. But he knew, he had the feeling. So I go to his office, I sit down with him. And I was like beating around the bush. He was like, Jaleesa, just say what you have to say. And so I was like, I think I want to leave. I want to pursue cakes. And he was like, you feel better now? And I was like, yeah, but why are you taking it so well? Like, what's going on? And he was like, the good ones always leave. He was like, people who want to better themselves and always want to go something higher, they're always going to go. He was like, I knew the moment when I saw you working on that cake that you wanted to do that. And I knew that. And he was supporting me. He's actually our kid's godfather. Yeah, he's like my mentor and one of my good friends. Like, he's amazing.
I'm a crier and I want to cry now. Shit. That's not fair. Oh, we're allowed to curse, by the way. I hope I'm allowed to curse on your social media.
Well, we're there now.
So I think that's a beautiful story because it allowed you to really focus. And you did.
Yeah.
What is I meant to write it down and I forgot, but it's sweet.
Sweet Memories by Jaleesa. Yeah. So I started the custom cakes when I gave birth to my son. I was just trying to find something to do with him at home and to get back into the passion. So I just made a cake business thing from home, just making for family, you know. But I wanted to make it seem like legitimate, and I wanted to incorporate my son, have him play with like flour or whatever while I was like doing stuff. So yeah, I started a cake business. That was great. That was such a great time.
All right, so now we have Mo and Jay.
Yep, now we have Mo and Jay.
And we are, you know, at this point, like you said, the pandemic, you guys are mostly at this point doing for cafes, right? You were doing wholesaling, and you also had a kiosk, right? Yeah.
So our first like I guess experience in doing retail was with the kiosk. We were in Garden State Plaza. We had a little cart. All we saw were eclairs and bottled water. That was it. Just a little push cart. Like, come get your eclairs.
And you were making these out of your house?
No, we couldn't. Legally, the cars laws weren't there yet, so legally we couldn't. We were renting a kitchen space in Montclair.
Oh, I did know this, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were renting a space in Montclair just to legally produce everything. And so it was crazy because, again, there was a pandemic, so there was no childcare. So it was literally teeter-totter. It was like, okay, you take Charlie, and I'll go here, and I'll bake. Okay, we'll swap. I'll go home, take him down for bed. You go wrap up here. It was like just tossing around hot potato. It was insane. It was insane. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh my God, I still can't believe we did that. But yeah, it was like we had to go, one person had to go and bake, and one person had to go and sell, and then, you know, and then swap with the kid in between. So it was just like, it was crazy. But my mom, she did help. My mom definitely was a helper. Wherever she could, she helped. But it was just grind time.
Wait, thinking back, like now, just thinking back, like, can you believe you guys did that? Like, got through that?
No, especially now, because there are times when, like, say, child daycare is closed or something. But the Thanksgiving, they were gone for 4 days. We had the kids in the store, and I was like, how were we doing this before? Because it was driving me insane. It was like, how? But it's one of those days where you adapt, you know? Like, you just have to, like, adapt.
God bless you. Well, so then, in 2020, you guys make the amazing decision to change that kiosk into brick and mortar.
Yes.
How did you guys choose Little Falls? Which I'm forever grateful for.
You take it.
How did you guys choose Little Falls? You did?
They chose us.
Really?
Yeah. I know that sounds cliche, but sorry.
Yeah. We're looking for space just to do wholesale. We weren't looking for a shop.
Okay.
And then this was a bakery before us, so it was closed. Yeah. And then after that, so the director was like, "Oh, I got a bakery for you. If you're interested, whatever." And it happened.
It just happened to be available.
And then it was just available, no construction. Nothing to do with
which is a blessing if you can understand during the pandemic. No construction needed,
And then even the town already was a bakery, so we didn't have to do much.
You literally just had to move in.
Just move in, coat of paint, move in. Yep.
So that's how it happened.
Wow.
Yep, Little Falls found us.
You know, then we adapted the business to the retail. We adapted, changed a lot.
Now, when did you guys incorporate? I know, so I've been lurking on your Instagram, and I remember seeing. I guess people were asking for bread.
Yes.
So when did you guys? And how did you choose what bakery?
So during the pandemic, we were familiar with some of the bakeries in the area. We got really friendly, familiar with some people, and we were familiar with one bread company in Montclair. And so we decided to do like an exchange. So I had this thing that I created called a quarantine sweet box. So basically, it was a way of trying to make sure that businesses during the pandemic still got business, like the pastry people. So I contacted 2 or 3 other bakeries, and I said, how about we collaborate so we all have a box that has all of our stuff in it. So when someone buys it, we all get some money from it so that we can all kind of stay afloat during the pandemic.
Okay.
So that was how we got in contact with the bread baker.
Okay.
And we ended up having an exchange where we would get from our eclairs and we would get his bread. So it was like a nice mutual exchange for wholesale to get the business, get the word out about our business too, and of course for the bread. So it was a good exchange. It worked out pretty well, the quarantine sweet box. We did a lot of them.
Are you still doing?
No, we stopped it. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, quarantine's kind of over, but yeah, we stopped it. It was. I think it was. How long was that for? We didn't really do it for.
It was the beginning, so it didn't last too long. You know, people got over it really quickly.
Really?
Everything that you did in quarantine.
It was it was like
it was a hard time for everything.
Even the teaching. I started teaching virtually online during the quarantine, and it was a hit. And when I first did it, a lot of people were signing up, but then it fizzed out. You know, they want the next new thing. I'm like, damn, man, even during the pandemic, I got bored. Like, it was just like, it was hard to kind of keep up and like see what the trends were. But yeah, we did it for a while though. The quarantine boxes we did for a while. I remember that. That was pretty good.
Well, so let's fast forward. You were pregnant with your second baby.
Yep.
And you have your daughter, Olive.
Yes, a little Olive.
Your little Olive. And you're in your maternity leave.
Oh man, talk about this.
Well, we have to, because I don't know anybody who makes the kind of decision that you made in maternity leave.
Yes.
That you did. So, in maternity leave, so literally, baby Olive, weeks old.
Yep.
You get contacted by Food Network.
So what happened was we got a DM on Instagram from a casting company. And the casting company, like their email address wasn't like Food Network, or it wasn't like I didn't think it was legit. I thought it was a scam. So I was like, ignore. I ignored it. And then reached out again. And I was like, okay, they're persistent. Ignore. And then I got emails and I got phone calls. And I was like, okay, maybe it's legitimate. Let me hear them out. So I called the guy back and I spoke to him. And I was like reverse, like searching him. Like, is he a fake person? Is he a bot? I was like, I don't trust people. I get really paranoid.
That's the New York.
Yeah, seriously. I don't trust nobody. Like, no, like everything is possible. So I checked him out, checked his page out, checked this out, checked the address out. And I was like, okay, I think it's legitimate. And then I told Mo about it, and I just like left it alone. He was like, okay, but hold up, like, what about this opportunity? And I was like, okay, what about this newborn baby though? So what are we gonna do about this baby? Like,
literally.
No,
we're not talking like 3 months, 6 months, like.
She was weeks old. She was weeks old, and he was like, okay, all obstacles aside, if it was a perfect world, no scenarios, whatever, would you want to even do something like this on TV? Would you want to go and compete on TV? I was like, yeah, I think it'd be dope. And he was like, we'll figure it out. That was it. We'll figure it out. And I was like, nah, do with this. So I was like, no, it's not physically possible. It's a no. I'm not even going to try to do it. And so Mo was like, we will figure it out. So I ended up calling all my friends, cashing in all my chips. Like, can anyone come and help me? The problem is, as I said, I'm from New York. All my friends and family are in New York. Who was going to help me all the way in New Jersey for X amount of time to be away? And I couldn't really tell them why because of the NDAs I had to sign. So I was like, okay, so the only person who really could help was my mom. So my mom, she moved into my house with me. She helped me look after the kids while I was out there doing the competition. Mo, my friend who was my doula, she came and helped him out in the store. It was like a whole group, team, community effort for me to go.
Which had to be completely secretive. Like, they couldn't know anything.
My mom at the time, now because of COVID, this is why it worked out, because she was working, going to school from home.
Okay.
So because she was home, she was like, I could physically watch them. I'm like, yeah, but you're in school and you're working full time. So I was like, how are you gonna have time in between classes and working to watch one who's a newborn and one who's a toddler? And she was like, Jaleesa, I had 2 kids. I'm your mom. You know how that go. So I was like, damn. So I felt like real stupid. So I was like, okay.
Like, how dare
Yeah, she's like, who do you think you're talking to? I was like, my bad, ma. Like, so she was like, no, I got you. So she watched the kids, and my friend came and helped Mo out in the store. But it was, I mean, stretched thin.
You got that part. You got that part figured
Mm-hmm.
out. So, 10 weeks.
Oh, the actual filming wasn't 10 weeks.
It wasn't. All right. So how long was the actual?
That's one thing I can't discuss.
Okay.
So I can't discuss that, and I can't discuss recipes for some reason.
No. That's
but yeah,
fine,
I can't discuss how long it took to film.
All right. So however long the filming was,
Which was a lot.
It was. Damn. I tried. All right, but so whatever that length of time was, you did all that. So you were pumping.
Yes.
Because you were a brand new mom.
Yeah.
And you were pumping. And like, all right, so can I ask you then, like,
sure.
You had to come up, all right, so if they said to you, this is what you need to do, how did you come up with like an original, how did you have enough ideas in your head to come up with a recipe that, because I'm like reading off what it is that you created.
For the baking.
And and I'm like, how did she know to make like a hibiscus, blah, 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 with a black currant, this, that, and I was like.
So two things I would say. One thing is that I relied a lot on ratio baking. So that way there was no real thinking. I went according to the ratio. Okay, 2 parts this, 1 part that, 4 parts that. And I can adapt it to be a small batch to make for whatever I was baking. And then one thing too is, as a baker, there are some things you make a million times, so you just know the recipe. Okay. So I would, I could do that. I know I could change this and make it flavor as that. You know, so some things I kind of knew. But in terms of like pairing things together, that was on the spot.
Really?
That was on the spot. Some things I knew paired well, but there's some things I had to taste. Like there are a lot of things in the show that I've never tasted before.
Oh my God,
and
so
I had to learn
like...
how to bake with it. And I was like, I've never even tasted this before. And I was like, gotta figure it out.
No better time than present, right?
Right. So that was definitely one of the things that I learned was a very good lesson when I was there, was that I learned that I was good at pairing flavors. I didn't know that my palate was my strong suit.
Okay.
Because flavors was always like never a problem. So I learned that, you know your taste buds. Like you're good with that.
Nice.
Yeah, I learned that. That was a good thing to learn.
And all right, so you were breastfeeding and everything was obviously being filmed. And one of the things that was obviously caught on camera, and you were very transparent about that, you put on your social media, just for everyone to see, was the fact that you kind of had an anxiety attack. I wanted to talk about that because I feel like that really just shows the humanness. Because like everybody always, I think we are superwomen. Like not for nothing, we are. Like we fucking hold shit down, and that was fucking proof. Because not only did you just have a baby, you're breastfeeding, you're in a fucking competition, you're a business owner, you're a wife, you're a mom. You have like all of this shit on your fucking shoulder.
It was a lot.
And you still brought it all, motherfucking. You brought it all.
I just kept thinking about my kids. I know it sounds corny, but honest to God, I kept thinking about, honestly, that my kids are going to watch this one day. They're going to, right now they're kids. I mean, my son, he watches it, he understands it, but they can watch that 10 years from now. It's online. They can always find it. So I'm thinking in my head, like, my kids are going to watch this again one day when they're older. I can't go down like this. Or it was like, think of the image that you're going to portray if you were to quit or walk off or whatever. It was just like, think of your kids who are watching you. Like, you have to be an example. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, things suck right now. Like, I don't want to be here right now. So I feel really embarrassed or like whatever was going on. And I'm like, but you can't sit there and be like, peace, it got tough. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, like, face it. If you give shit, just face your shit. Like, that's it. I don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to face it because I know I did bad. It's like, you know what? Sorry, here's my shit and I tried. Like, I have to at least own it, you know? But yeah, it was hard. Like a lot of it too was it's different when, of course, they're filming it, and then when it got on TV, so much time went by, and then just seeing me on TV, and I'm like, God, like I would have never done that today. You know, some of the things I was watching myself do, and it's hard because my mindset was very different then than when it was on TV. So it was kind of like hard to watch some of the scenes. But the panic attack was a big wake-up call because it was just like, it's no stranger to people who know me that I suffer from anxiety. Everyone knows that about me. But to have that happen on TV, to have it be filmed, and then on top of that being put actually into the, the script, or not the script, but like put onto the show, It was just like, at first I was really embarrassed, and then I thought about it and I was like, but why? Like, why? I'm not the only one who goes through this. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has anxiety, even whether it's small or large, everyone has anxiety. But I don't really have panic attacks, though. That's not something I go through regularly. So it was definitely new to go through that. But I can't believe that I still ended up going back and just being like, all right, just knock it off, because you have no choice to. Like, you got to knock it off and go. But yeah, that was a strong moment.
It was a humongously strong moment, because you know what? It just shows that we can all have that breaking point, and we can all still get up. It's okay. It's not the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you showed that, because it's easy for like actors to have it written into a script, like you know what I mean? This wasn't a script. This was
right. And what was crazy was as it was being shown on TV, reading some of the comments, some of these people were like insane.
Oh, no.
Like, I faked a panic attack somehow, or that it was just like they were
Somebody give her an Academy Award.
You know what I mean? It was like, how do you fake something like that? And the thing is, like, we're all mics when we're competing. So they plugged in, I guess, so I talk to myself a lot, full disclosure. So I guess they plugged in on the show me talking to myself, and I was like, damn, girl, I don't know about this. I was like wondering, like, what's going on right now? Because I was like, this is something new, because I don't have panic attacks often. And I was like, maybe you're just out of shape from running around and having a baby and whatever. And I was like, nah, man, my vision's blurry. Like, I'm going down. Like.
Wow. Wait, so is that all, you can hear all of that on
I remember watching an episode and they had plugged that part in, me talking to myself, and I was like, damn, like they plugged part of it in. I was like, oh wow, like that was that loud? Like But yeah, I remember thinking all the sequences of events that went through, and it was just like, there were clear signs something was happening, and I was ignoring them. And I kept thinking, oh, it's fine, like push through, like whatever. And then my body was like, nah, nah,
Wow.
we're done. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna sit here. But that's what triggered my panic attack. It was the fact that, so I started to get faint, so when you're a pumping mom, you have to make sure you're eating and drinking enough, right? Yep. So this was the day I didn't have dinner, didn't have breakfast. I had a granola bar, and I ran out to go bake for 2 hours, whatever time it was. Then I went out and did another bake, the main heat. So it was nonstop baking without any real food breaks. I had breaks to like rest, like not to eat. At the main, the main bake, I was feeling faint because I was like, oh shit, you didn't eat, you didn't drink, you're pumping, like what's wrong with you? And then when I realized I was getting faint, I was like, oh no, this is happening during a time challenge. Like this is happening right now. Oh my God, they're filming, oh my God, I'm losing time. Panic attack. I was like, I'm going to get disqualified, I'm not going to finish. Panic attack. I just freaked out that I wouldn't finish. And then I just lost it. I couldn't breathe. It was like, I was like freaking out. I had tunnel vision. I was just like, how am I gonna get out of here? I just couldn't think. So Cartier Brown was one of the judges. Thank God, shout out to her, because she was the only person who came up to me who knew how to talk to me. She also suffers from anxiety, and she knew how to ground me and to remind me of like, breathe. You know why you're here. Think of your babies. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about these cameras. F all this. Worry about you. We're gonna get you to be all right. And it was having someone who was on my side as a cheerleader who was guiding me to be like, you're human, it's fine, calm down. And I finally calmed down. And then they asked me, what do you want to do? Do you want to leave or do you want to stay and finish? And I was like, I gotta stay. Like, no, I'm going home. And then I went back out, and then my fellow competitors, they cheered me on. They were really happy that I came back. And shout out to them too, because I felt like, a dog with my leg, which would tail between my legs. I was like, watch them think of like me as being, less than or pathetic or whatever. And then at one point I was saying, if they do, whatever, I'm still here. Yep. So I went out, and I didn't even go home on top of that. I was like, watch you go home and get some BS, you know what I mean? And then like, I didn't even go home. So I was like, yes.
I'm sorry, that's like one of
the best. Oh my God. It was like, what if you want to go home? Look at that. What if you would have went home episode 2 over that? What if you waited until the finale, you won, So it was just putting things into perspective. Yeah. It was like, you could have gone home after day 2 from being scared. Like, perspective.
Super perspective. All right, so now, You film for X amount of time. We're not allowed to talk about it. And you come home, and you have to keep your motherfucking mouth shut to the entire fucking world, including your husband, that you won the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
For how long? Can you tell us?
So we filmed it in the summertime. We filmed it in the summertime, and I think the show premiered at the end of February or February, end of February. So that's like over 6 months.
How do you keep that secret?
I'm gonna tell you how I kept that secret. A signed NDA, okay? Because I had a lot to lose. I had 20. What is it? How much I had? $25,000 to lose. So yeah, you damn straight I'm not gonna say nothing. It was like poker face is locked because I'm not losing this money. Because if the thing is, if they find out that I won ahead of time before it's aired on TV, I'm in breach of contract. I lose all that money.
Oh my God.
So I had to make sure that I say nothing. Like, I mean, my thing is, hypothetically, if I told Mo, I know he wouldn't tell anyone, but just to be safe for my peace of mind, I was like, tell no one. So I was just like, regular day, like, don't do eye contact.
So did you go home and say, I didn't?
I was like, I tried.
Okay.
I was like, I tried. I was like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, we'll see it on TV. I was like trying so hard to like, okay, change the subject. Like, how were the kids? How was everything when I was gone? Like, yeah.
How did you know?
I tried.
Like, I would have come off the plane.
I had a feeling that I thought he knew just because I got towards the very end. The thing is, they give you like a film date window. It'll be from this day to max this day. 'Cause you know, every day someone goes home.
Okay.
I thought maybe he knew, so I stayed until the end.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe he knows. And I was like, maybe he don't. Poker face, poker face, poker face. So I just, but he didn't know. He didn't know.
Yeah, I did.
No?
I was good. I was good at that.
So how exciting was it when you started realizing that the town really started rallying for you?
Oh my God. So this, you know how every town has their own Facebook group? So the Little Falls Facebook group, I go in there sometimes to like promote the business, of course, also to see what everyone's talking about, see the demand for pastries and things like that. And I was surprised that every single Monday when the show would air, someone would go on there and like post a picture of me and be like, she's going on to the next round. I'm like, they're actually watching this thing, because to me, I never knew about this competition until I did it. So I was like, I thought it was a little small competition. Not small, but I know it's Food Network. But I'm thinking like, it's not like, Hell's Kitchen. So I'm like, no one's going to be watching this little baking competition. I'm like, oh no, they're watching. Like, and then it wasn't until they did the watch party for the finale. That was when I really got paranoid. Because again, breach of contract. So when they came to the bakery and they were like, oh, we want to throw your watch party. I was like, why? Why won't throw a watch party? Like, what do you know? In my head, I'm like, what do you know?
Oh, no.
And so they were like, you got to the finale. And I was like, but what if I lose? Why would you want to do a watch party? I was so skeptical. I don't trust people. I was like, yo, watch somebody say something. So then they were like, no, if you lose, be around people who love you, who love your bakery. Like, be around that support and love if you do end up conceding. And I was like, end up losing. So I was like, okay. So then we ended up doing the watch party, but like the town came out, like kids were there, like I don't know, it was a lot of people that came to that, and it was planned like within 6 days. It was really quick, and everyone came. I was surprised. The kids brought me to tears during commercial break. They would come, can you sign my shirt? I'm like, nah, it's not happening, man. Like it's not happening. But it was really cute. It was really cute. A lot of support from the town. Even after the show was done being aired, and everyone knows the results, people still kept coming. So it wasn't just like, oh, she's on TV, let's go see her store and never come back. People still keep coming back. So it was really nice seeing your locals and your regulars keep coming back to your store. It's good.
Well, what I loved about it was that each week you would actually feature what pastry or cake that you did on the show in the store.
Yes.
And so I was listening to one of the interviews that you did, and the podcaster was jealous because she was out in New York, but her family was in Jersey. So they would be able to come to the store to taste it, and she's like, and I'm jealous. And I was like,
that was a smart, like, that was smart marketing. That was super smart. I was like, how many times did you watch these shows? You're like, I wish I knew what that tasted like. Boom, now you can. But what's interesting too is that a lot of the stuff from the show I didn't taste in full. Because, if I give you a whole cake, I can't take a slice out and try it. The judges are trying it. So a lot of the stuff that I presented, I didn't know what it tasted like in full until I made it in the store. So as I'm making and baking things, I'm trying it short, but all together, I didn't know. So some of the things everything that I recreated in the store, I was like, let me see what it tastes like. Because like, I didn't even know. I was like, oh, damn, this is really good.
Oh, thank God.
So it was just like, wow. But like, I mean, I knew, individual components, but together, I was like, damn, this is really good. But that was really smart. And that brought in a lot of business. That was good. Well, I think that was Mo's idea, no?
Yeah.
Brains.
They are good for something. All right, so I remember reading that what you'd wanted to do with the winnings had you won was to update some of your equipment.
Yes.
But what I see ended up happening was that you guys ended up opening an entire second location, still in Little Falls. We're still here in Little Falls, New Jersey. And you guys are doing classes here.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we're going back. Yeah. Oh, we see another. So we're going back to your teaching.
Yes.
And so you guys have been doing classes since, you said Halloween?
Yeah, about Halloween week we started doing classes.
No, I want to talk about the wallpaper.
No, Mo needs to come back for this.
Wait for Mo to come back.
But yeah, with the money, I ended up getting a dough sheeter. So I did get one piece of equipment.
Okay.
It's next door. So we sheet all of our, lamination, our croissants, our cookie dough, all that stuff gets sheeted in our dough sheeter before we're doing it by hand. And I never knew how annoying that was until I got the sheeter. Because now I got the sheeter, I'm like, wow, this is like way faster. So we got the sheeter, and we got the supplies to finance the classroom. So I did use the money how I said I would. No vacation, but that's okay.
But you put it back into your business. That's what you said you wanted to
I had to reinvest.
Yep, and you did. Okay, where is he? I want to hear the wallpaper story.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about when do you do your classes? So let's tell everybody.
Yes. So classes are mainly Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
If you want to do a private class, you can within the middle of the week, or if the class that we have at the weekend is not full, we can just swap you in. But there's always a cupcake class, 5 and up. There's always a cookie class, 12 and up. And there's always a cake class and a cake and sip. So the cake and sips are only for the adults. It's like 21 plus. But every single week we have one of the 4.
Nice.
Every week.
Oh, I like that cake and sip idea.
Yeah. Decorate and sip. We do all types of cakes. We do buttercream. We do fondant cakes. The kids, they love doing the cupcakes because it's easier for them to grab and to play with. So we have things for kids. We do have a gingerbread house workshop coming up this month, so I'm very excited about doing it. I'm going to bring my kids in to come do it. But yeah, I'm excited because everyone's always looking for things to do with their kids, and sometimes always an age limit so I'm like, I can definitely do 5 and up because my son is 4 and he does cupcakes like really well. But to be fair, he's a bakery kid. But still, I'm pretty sure seeing my 4-year-old do it that a 5-year-old can do it. But yeah, we definitely have all types of classes every single week.
Nice. And how many people can you fit in here?
So cake classes are up to 8 just to have more space, but cupcakes and cookies are 10 people.
Now, if anybody wants to find out about these classes, how can they find it?
So they can go on our website, moandjpastry.com/classes, and then you'll see this beautiful wallpaper when you get to that page. Because this was a fight, man. I had to get this everywhere. So.
I don't know. I think we're running out of time, so I don't know if we'll be able to get the story in.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, here he comes. Perfect timing. I need this story. All right, you had perfect timing.
Oh, nice.
Wallpaper.
All right, we need to hear the story about the wallpaper.
This was a fight. So I told Mo when we were trying to design the room, I want to have one accent.
Let's decide if it was, you know what I mean?
Let me decide what?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I told him that I wanted to have one accent wall, right? I said I want this one to be an accent wall. I want it to be wallpaper with like bees. He goes, okay, cute idea. All right, we're on the same page. Cool. I go looking for wallpaper, right? The first one that I found was this one that I love. I love this one. It was beautiful. It's a gold sheen with the bees and the black. It was great. Our design is black and white. Black, white, and gold is our logo. So I had, gold and black. Anyway, loved it. I showed Mo. So the wallpaper was, I think, $75 for the whole wall. And then I had to pay $25 for shipping. He was like, why is shipping so high? I said, let me go see why. Oh, it's coming from the UK. He was like, nah, US all day. No, I want US made wallpaper. Nah, we're not doing it. I was like, wait a minute now. But this is $75. It's the same amount of shipping time as the US. He goes, nah, American made. I don't care. All right. What happened? I go look for American wallpaper, $400, $500, $600, $800 for wallpaper for one wall.
Why are you screaming at me?
Because I have to get the severity of this story out. You rather pay, you want to get USA $800, or you want to get a quick, just one accent wall UK for $75.
Okay. You need to put it in perspective.
This is perspective.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
You're looking for the most expensive shit.
$75. How is this expensive?
Okay.
How?
So
The first option was $75. How was that the most expensive option? That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Okay, you're the bougie one. What am I just saying?
No, I'm bougie. No, I'm bougie. Says the Frenchman. No, I'm bougie.
Okay, I'm French, but I'm not bougie. That's it. Right?
All I'm trying to say was it took us 10 days of a delay because of wallpaper for you to decide to get this one. 10 days.
Yeah.
See?
And
It
she
was
still
worth
got
it. Right?
If you had just
Thank
done
you.
what she said in the beginning. Just saying.
She wasn't convinced 100% about this one.
What you wasn't convinced?
No, you weren't.
What do you mean? What you talking about?
You weren't. Oh, $75 is cheap wallpaper.
I didn't say that!
Oh, yeah. She didn't say that.
I'm so grateful that we waited for this conversation.
That's a lie.
She didn't say that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so all I
That's not what
know
happened.
is that wait, is the pastry shop still open? Because I need to go.
Yes,
there
it's still open.
sometime.
Yeah, it's good.
Because I was watching your reel on your
Instagram?
yes, the one with the
Queen of Mine?
no, what are the
Croissant.
thank you. That was beautiful.
Oh, yes, that was a good one.
That was a really good one. So I think we're gonna have to go next door and buy some stuff. All right, so I think that's all the time though. Is there anything else you guys would like to share?
You know, I was gonna say a sarcastic comment. I'm not gonna go there. I was gonna put the wallpaper down. I'm good.
Thank you so much for sharing
Yes.
your story with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. All right, thanks everybody. It's a brand new week, so go own it and mind your favorite minx and join us next time.
I'm telling you.